Hey all, and welcome into a new video. This will be sort of a second season of Game Dev Diary. I originally made this series as a way to document my uni projects for game development, but I figure I have been working on a new project, a solo dev project for a month now, and would want to share my progress and document it for all to see. So this will be the diary for May of 2025, and let's get into it. So my new project is a game that so far I'm naming Transient Eye. I've drawn a little logo for it. It's supposed to be like an eye, but like a stained glass for a cathedral, which is where the game will be set. It's a time loop information gathering game. So if you've played Outer Wilds, then you sort of know what the loop is. You have a bunch of tasks to do in a world which is pretty much mostly open to you, and you gain, as it were, information with every loop, which you can then use to get more information on the next loop. You're on a time limit. And there's a conspiracy, there's a disaster that you have to solve one of these loops and try and stop it from happening. I'm considering having different ways that the story can end. Right now, I'm still in the ideation process of exactly how it's going to play out. But you know, it's going to be very puzzle based. It's going to be hopefully encouraging people to interact with the systems and the puzzles. But more than Outer Wilds, it's more of a character based um, story. You will have a bunch of personalities to contend with, and you'll have to share with them information as you see fit. Speak to them in ways that will make them want to give you information and interact with you. And ultimately, antagonizing or buttering up people will give you different results, and not always productive results if you're just nice to them. So that's the sort of thing I'm going for. I've been writing. It's the game is set in a fantasy world that I've been writing for like years now, and this is going to be my first sort of attempt to surface that world. Um, it's got hundreds of named characters, hundreds of years of history, sort of thing. It's a very D&D build. It's a fantasy world, so there's a bunch of magic and gods and divine will and everything like that. We go into our game inspirations. The game is set in a cathedral, so I've got here a few different churches. The Grand Cathedral of Anor Londo in the bottom left there, and one of the churches in Oblivion, which I'm very happy with that remake that just came out. And I've been playing it a bunch. Outer Wilds, as I've said, is the main inspiration, but it's it's just for the gameplay loop more than anything, and the way that they can sort of chain together different discoveries which make sense and feel fulfilling to the character or to the player, I should say, which is really the aim of what I'm going for. Some of the other stories that I've taken inspiration from, in the bottom right here, we've got Return of the Obra Dinn, which presents to you information in a very unique way for puzzles. You have to cross-reference where people are seen and then trace them throughout their path throughout the story chronologically. It's very unique. And in the top right, we have a very silly game. Not for tone, I'm not using this for, but for its very strange ability to get people invested in more cerebral puzzles. It's West of Loathing. West of Loathing is a very silly, funny game, but some of its puzzles are very have deep rooted mathematical concepts, and you can get people actually trying to write these out, and a lot of people might just look it up or whatever, and that's completely fine. But the whole idea that somebody will get some fulfillment out of a more cerebral puzzle because they're paying attention and because they can solve it themselves, that's something I'm interested in. So for like architectural inspirations, these are like a bunch of like images, mood board that I've collated. These are all locations I've been to. So in the top left, that's St. Paul's Cathedral, which it's more of like the interior of a sort of like the grand halls and the giant dome, which I'm interested in here. Top middle is St. Stephen's Cathedral in Vienna. I love the decorations on the roof here, as well as that lone tower. But when it comes to the towers, on the right here we have I think St. Vitus Cathedral in Prague. Good look at the towers. Look at the like circular like stain, or I'm not sure if it's stained glass, but the window there in the middle, just above the entrance. And for its like gleaming white like stonework, I'm looking at the Fisherman's Bastion in Budapest. I loved this place. It was probably one of the highlights of my trip there. And sort of this not spiral, but like very circular, cylindrical architecture, which brought me to it. So the story overview, it's a bit complicated and will require some sort of exposition. The big trouble with this is the first introduction to the world, a very sprawling world that I have, and to make that into some sort of a digestible story that the player won't just skip through is my main challenge, and we'll see how that will go. To give it its summary, the Kakaran people once had an empire that spanned like many lands, many peoples, and they were betrayed by the gods, and now they're just a shell of their former selves. And there's division, there's infighting, and they're really trying to find their way in the world without their former power. And this cathedral is sort of the seat of government for the three major governmental factions. The Intuitors, which are the mages and the scholars, the Illuminators, which are the religious authority in the churches, and the Inquisitors, which are the investigative branch, which uncover plots and the like. So these three factions have a presence in the Ordre Cathedral, and they use this building as this like sort of pseudo like town hall. So in the middle of a congress of these three factions, a bright light will envelop the whole cathedral, and this will trigger the cathedral to go into lockdown, and it will be sort of your job to figure out why this has happened, and after you wake up, after being knocked down by this shockwave, you have a strange rune branded onto your skin, which is the time loop rune, basically. The cathedral has sort of acted in sort of self-defense, and has branded you with this rune because it knows something's going to happen. And lo and behold, by the end of the day, there is a massive explosion and the cathedral is blown up, and you begin the day again. So after that, you have to figure out, hey, something's happening. It's time to figure it out, and you have a bunch of places to go, a bunch of places to investigate, and you'll find out that not everybody's letting on as much information as they should be to aid in your investigation. Everybody has skeletons in their closets, and they will not freely surrender their authority to you as somebody who is non-aligned with any of the factions. The main work I've done this month is laying down the groundworks for the cathedral. I've done mainly this front bit as well as the general structure. It's gone through a few different iterations on a few different bits. So you see this this trim above the entrance has gone from this circular ring pattern. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but I can probably get some drawing going. Yeah, so that's not working. There we go. So this section has changed into sort of this. We've got some extra decorations at the bottom here, which aren't in this one. And the whole structure of the cathedral is made in a way that you always have something new to investigate. There's going to be an underground level. Each of these towers are one each for the three major factions, and each tower will have unique challenges and puzzles to them that you'll have to solve. If we go on, I've sort of created like the floor plan, in which I have just, hey, what's going to be where, how are people going to be navigating, who's going to be where to talk to whom, that sort of thing. It's a large project, but by constraining myself to one building's worth of map, I believe I can do this very well. The next steps for this project is going to be definitely writing out some of the characters, designing some cool gadgets for the player to use that aid in their investigative work, and figuring out sort of a critical path that the player will follow, how they will get to their discoveries, and what will make these discoveries actually believable and impactful to the player, because that is at the crux of the game. But that's it for the May showcase of this project. I look forward to giving you the June showcase. That'll be next month, but I guess we're already a bit into June already, so it'll be ready when it's ready. How about that? But for now, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.